Yes, hello, Jerome's. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. And Dane Brugler of The Athletic, pretty inspiring story. So, Dane Brugler, no inside connections, didn't play, wasn't a scout, but got into the draft world, and he's been crushing it. And he's been doing great things over at The Athletic. The Beast is must read research every year before the draft, and he just dropped his 7-round mock draft. Big time respect to Dane Brugler. And the Vikings do pretty damn good. And frankly, if this is how it worked out, I wouldn't be too upset. So, of course, the number one question with the Vikings is quarterback. Now, not spoiling the mock draft, but it does go 1, 2, 3 QBs. So it goes Bo Nix, Pratt. Nah. But McCarthy is there at 4, and the Vikings do make a move up. Projected trade, Vikings trade 11 and 23 and a 2025 third-round pick to the Cardinals for 4. I would be okay with that compensation. All right, so basically what it comes down to for me is protect the 2025 future first rounder if you can. All right, and I would feel fine including the first for May or Daniels. A little bit more apprehensive about with McCarthy, even though I do like his game a lot. But basically, I just don't want to give up that future first rounder. But if you can do it for the third, fine. 11.23 is already sunk cost, but they do the damn thing. This is what Dane wrote. It is no secret that the Vikings are quarterback shopping in the NFL draft, but how high can they trade up to secure their guy? In this scenario, Minnesota jumps to number 4 for McCarthy, who would mark the first time in NFL draft history. We see quarterbacks drafted 1, 2, 3, 4. Get your woman on the floor. And McCarthy, you're betting on traits. You're betting on the come. All the kid does is win. And no, I don't think that Harbaugh ran the ball because they're trying to hide McCarthy in the Michigan offense. They ran the ball because that's what Harbaugh wants to freaking do. I mean, Justin Herbert is going to turn into a handoff merchant and probably going to request a trade within a year. That's probably what's going to happen, man. But McCarthy, he does have a good arm. He does have good athleticism. He does need to add a little bit of changeup and touch to his throws and velocity, but everything is there. And I think that him sitting behind Darnold for a year, working with Kevin O'Connell, working with Josh McCown, is going to do very beautiful things for McCarthy. And frankly, of the big 4 quarterbacks, them landing, Williams with the Bears, Daniels with the Commies, May with the Patriots, McCarthy is in the best possible spot. He truly is. So, and also JJ to JJ, all that connections there. But I'm more fired up about the rest of the draft. So, basically, it goes 1, 2, 3, crush of mine. So, Wayne Carter from Duke. I love him, man. I love him. So, 6'2", 303. All heart, all hustle, future team captain, good lateral quickness, solid bull rush as well, plays with great leverage, and he is a guy that will fight you for every single inch, every single yard, every single everything, man. I think that his whirling dervish approach is contagious. 41 tackles, 25 pressures, a sack in 2023, 8.93 RAS, and you could say, well, he only had 1 sack. He does all the dirty work. All right, so you put him in at 3-tech, put him in at 4-tech, 5-tech, just have him absorb bodies and set the energy tone out there. I think that's what he's going to do. Mason McCormick, so he's a guy I always try to get at 129 on the mock draft simulators, except it never seems to work out. But McCormick out of South Dakota State University, go Jackrabbits, national champions, 6'4", 309, 9.96 RAS, really put on a show at the frickin' combine, man. A 3-year captain, 57 straight starts for the Jackrabbits. Good power, good grip. I think he comes in immediately and competes with Brandel and Ed Ingram for one of the 2 starting guard spots. A little bit stiff, so now you're worried about like the Drew Samia comps. I ain't worried. I think McCormick is going to adapt well. Like he won't be a liability in outside zone, and also brings a little bit of a power element to the Vikings as well. And then in the 5th round, 157, the Vikings take the Cinderella story of this draft. Quarterback Quantes Stiggers from the CFL. So he initially was going to play college football at Lane College. Didn't work out. Didn't play ball because of family issues. His father had health issues, but he's 6'2", 204. Went to the fan-controlled football league with Johnny Manziel, Dalvin owned the team. Went to the CFL, Toronto Argonauts, and was a CFL defensive rookie of the year, something like that. He's a ball hawk. 5 interceptions in 12 games. Shined at the Shrine Bowl, completely destroyed, and I think that Quantez is going to be really good. I think that, yes, you are betting on the story. Yes, you are betting on potential, but I think that coming into the NFL, getting some quality coaching and getting some quality reps, I think that he certainly has a chance to be a very solid NFL cornerback. Really like that a lot. 167 turned down for Watts. So Armon is gone, but now we got another one. That's right. So Eric Watts coming in from UConn, 6'6", 274. Big time project. Big time project, physical project where the production doesn't sync up with the tools. 4.68 40, 36.5-inch vert at 9.95 RAS. But at UConn, 23 tackles for loss, 9.5 career sacks. A little bit older of a prospect as well, as a lot of these guys are when you factor in the Rona year. But I mean, Watts. He certainly does have the size. He can kick inside on passing downs. He can play that 4-tech, 5-tech in base defense. So overall, getting Watts in this spot, don't mind it at all. Then finishing out day 3, one of my favorite players in the draft. So Naismith from Texas A&M, absolute joystick gadget type player, 5'9", $190. He's a 4'4", 540, which checks that box. 53 catches, 795 yards, and 2 touchdowns receiving last year. And is he going to be a true blue wide receiver? Probably not, but is he a guy that's going to be a gadget type player? Is he a guy that's going to return punts and kicks, which he did with a Plum at College Station, 2 punt returns for touchdowns during his time with the Aggies? Yes, he certainly is. Now, could the Vikings be looking for a more refined wide receiver 3? Sure, but Smith would be a lot of fun. Smith would absolutely be a lot of fun, and I like it a lot, man. 238. So the Vikings. So during the Spielman years, what the Vikings tended to do is that they would spend a 7th-round pick on a meat and potatoes special teams linebacker, and Spielman said that he did that because he was a meat and potatoes linebacker, and so just like that's an homage to his playing days. But it's always good because linebacking depth is important, as well as getting the guys that'll rock out on special teams is great too. And Trice Knight from UTEP is going to be one of those dudes. 6'1", 233, a racked up and stacked up tackling machine. 3-year starter, 140 tackles in 2023, 15.5 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks. He just gets after it. He just gets after it, man. So I think that a high-energy guy with a nose for the football, measurables wise, didn't test the greatest, but it is going to be linebacking depth as well as a guy that's is a stud on special teams. I like it. Lastly, 232. So people are going to completely write off this mock draft because of pick 232. That's exactly what they're going to do. So, Dylan McMahon from NC State. So, yes, the Vikings are double-dipping along the offensive line. It's great to see, but Vikings fans will see, another undersized, uber-athletic center from NC State and just completely just like freak out, man. But McMahon, 9.43 RAS, 5.140. Now, is he as polished and refined as Garrett Bradbury was coming out back in the day as a first-round pick? No. But McMahon, he does have some traits, does have some tools, does need to add a lot of size, does play with decent leverage, does have some great movement skills as well. 71.3 PFF pass blocking grade for the Wolfpack in 2023, 12 pressures, 1 sack allowed. So I think that in terms of if the Vikings want to stick with the outside zone, having McMahon as a developmental center ain't the worst thing in the world, right? Again, if they want to draft for the scheme, McMahon does make sense. Now, I would prefer if every single offensive lineman was 340 pounds, but it's an argument for another day. But like we said, up at the top, getting McCarthy for that price, love it. Getting Dwayne, getting McCormick, getting Quantez, win, play, show, 1, 2, 3, I love it. I absolutely love it, man. And it is a spot, too, where it does sync up BPA with needs, right? And that's beautiful when that happens. So the Vikings do need some help in both trenches, D-line and O-line. Check. They do need some help at cornerback. Check. They do need a project on the edge. Check, as well as a wide receiver 3-4, as well as a guy that can contribute on special teams. And I kind of like this. I really like the way that Brugler went about this draft. And the crown jewel, of course, is McCarthy. And ideally, McCarthy doesn't play it down as a rookie. Well, maybe in some garbage time after the Vikings go 14-3. Would it be? That's what we do. There you go. But your thoughts are thoughts. Dane Brugler's 7-round mock draft. The Vikings get some nice. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts and his thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. I don't know what it is, but towards the end of videos, like I just got to burp sometimes. Sometimes it comes out, sometimes it doesn't. Anyways, you guys know what to do. Skull production value.